Hey guys, it's Laura. Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be my July book haul, and I actually only managed to acquire 10 books this month, which is amazing considering the fact that I've been buying a lot of books this year. So I've definitely calmed down a little bit, which is great. But I have so many exciting books to show you, so let's just get right into it. So the first book I have here is Wondersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. So this month I actually read the first book, which is Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow, and I loved it so much. I'm definitely going to be talking about it in my wrap up, which is going to be ridiculous because I've read like 20 books this month. But as soon as I finished it, all I wanted to do was start over from the beginning and read it again. And so that's how you know it's an amazing book. And I cannot wait to read the second book in the series. I know that it's going to be amazing, and I'm really excited for it. It follows a young girl named Morgan Crow who is a cursed child basically and is destined to die on her 11th birthday. However, on the eve of her 11th birthday, a man called Jupiter North comes in and kind of takes her away to the land of Nevermore, where he wants her to join the magical, wondrous society. But in order to join the society, she needs to complete a set of trials. And the first book was so good. And I can't wait to pick up the second one. Probably I will be doing that soon, like probably next month. The next book I have here is Zone 1 by Colson Whitehead. This is the pick for July for Kayla's Literally Dead book club. I've been really enjoying reading all the books she's been featuring since the book club started. The ones that I have read have been really good for me, so I'm excited to get to this one. It is a zombie horror type novel, I guess. And I've never read anything from Colson Whitehead, but he is definitely a very well-known author. And I've been wanting to read something from him, and I didn't even know this book existed until it was the pick for July. So I haven't read it yet, but there's still some time left in the month of July, so I will hopefully be getting to this one before the end of the month. Next, I picked up The Mysterious Affair at Styles by Agatha Christie. This is the first book in the Poirot series, and one of my goals this year was to start my Agatha Christie read through type thing. I read a lot of Agatha Christie when I was in my late teens, early 20s, when I was obsessed with mysteries, and that was absolutely all that I read. That's when I started reading Agatha Christie and really loving them, and I read quite a good number of the books. I don't remember if I read this one. It sounds familiar though. But we all know Agatha Christie. She was one of the greatest mystery writers of her time, of all time, really. I mean, her books are still incredibly well known. People still pick them up and read them. And I'm excited to get started with this read through. Earlier this month, I got my June Fairy Loot box, and there were 2 books in the June box. The first one being Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee, which is a book that I was really looking forward to reading this year. It's so beautiful. Look at this cover. It's absolutely gorgeous, and like with all Fairy Loot books, the art on the reverse of the dust jacket is gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I kind of forgot what this is about. It says, after years of training to become the Queen's next royal spy, Saoirse Ashwin's plans are derailed when shamans attack and kill her best friend, and then Saoirse somehow restores her friend to life. So yeah, it sounds super interesting. The cover is gorgeous, and I can't wait to get to this one. The second book that was in the Fairy Loot box for June is The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. I am so excited to have this because this book does not come out until next year, I believe, and this is just the most beautiful cover I've probably gotten all year. Look at that. That's the cover. It has these beautiful sprayed edges, gold foiling, the spine, everything. It's gorgeous. So The Gilded Ones follows a girl who is getting ready for her blood ceremony, and the color of her blood will determine whether she can be a member of the village. If her blood is red, then she'll belong. If her blood is not red, then she won't. And on her ceremony day, her blood actually runs gold, which is the sign of impurity. It sounds really good. I've heard amazing things about it, and I'm so happy to have a copy so early. So yes, really happy about this one. Next, I picked up Shadow Black by Sebastian de Castell. This is the second book in the Spellslinger series. The first book I read last year and I loved it so much. It was a 5-star for me. It's so funny and smart. It's about this main character, Kel, who is about to take his mage trials, except he has a little problem, and the little problem is that he doesn't have any magic left. So he basically tries to like con his way into winning the trials, and then he meets this woman named Various Parfax who shows him a different way of doing things, and it's just so good. It's funny, it's smart, it's action-packed, it's emotional, it's just everything. Yeah, so I don't know why I haven't continued on in the series until now, but I finally picked up the second book so that I can do that. I realized that I have been very bad about keeping up with series, so I need to fix that. So now I have this and I will read it. Also, this is another cover that is absolutely beautiful. I love these covers. These are the UK hardcovers, and some of them are pretty hard to find, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to get all of them in this edition so that they all match, but we'll see as time goes on. Next, I picked up A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. This is another African-inspired YA fantasy that follows two sisters who have to fight each other to the death to secure the crown. And I don't know much more beyond that, but I've been really excited to read this book since it first came out, and I just never got around to picking it up. But I finally picked it up, especially when I saw that the covers are changing. I hate when they do cover changes because I love this cover. I think it's stunning. The new covers that they're doing are not pretty. I just don't like them. So I decided to definitely pick up a copy of this book before it was like impossible to find this particular cover. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this, and hopefully we'll get to it soon. Next, I picked up one of my most anticipated reads of 2020, which is Cinderella is Dead, and this is by Kaylin Barron. This is a Cinderella, it's not really a Cinderella retelling, it just takes place in the world of Cinderella. Basically, this takes place 200 years after Cinderella, and now the world has turned into this kind of weird dystopian setting where girls are now forced to go to these balls to get chosen by a man to be married, and if they're not chosen, then they're never heard from again. And our main character is not interested in anything like that. In fact, she would rather marry her best friend than marry a man, and so she runs away, and she ends up meeting the last living descendant of Cinderella, I believe, and then they go about taking down the system. So sounds really good. This cover, again, gorgeous. I mean, book covers this year, amazing. But yeah, I cannot wait to read this one, and I was hoping to get to it this month, but that didn't happen. But I definitely want to read it soon, so maybe next month. And then I picked up There's Something About Sweetie. This is by Sandhya Menon. So I listened to this on audio and loved it so much. 5 out of 5 stars. As soon as I finished reading it, I went ahead and bought a physical copy, because I knew that I wanted to have this on my shelf. This is actually the second book to the When Dimple Met Rishi. They're all like companion novels, so you can read them in any order you want, but it's best to read When Dimple Met Rishi first, because the main character in here, the main male character, is introduced in the previous book, and the newest book that's coming out, or actually it's already out, 10 Things I Hate About Pinky. Pinky is actually introduced in this book, so it's good to read them in order, and I love this so much. I read it this month, so you'll hear me talk about it soon in my wrap-up. And the very last book that I picked up this month is Only Human by Sylvain Neuvel. This is the third and final book in the Themis Files. It follows a girl who, when she was little, she got a bike for her birthday, went out riding on her bike, and ended up falling into a hole into this giant metal hand. Years after that, she is now a part of the research team that is trying to figure out where this hand came from. Are there more pieces? Finding more pieces and figuring out what it does and what it's for. And the story is incredible. I loved the first book, was so good. The second book was really good as well. I have read this already this month and didn't enjoy this as much as the first 2 books, but I still really enjoyed it. I still really love the series as a whole, and highly recommend if you haven't picked it up yet. They are super fast reads. They're told in interview format, and they're just really compelling. So definitely recommend picking this up. But now I have the whole set, and they're just gonna look so good on my shelves. But that's it. Those are the 10 books that I bought this month. Do let me know down in the comments down below if you have any thoughts or opinions on the books that I showed you today. I am so excited for absolutely all of these. Let me know if you've read any of them and how you felt about them. I absolutely love hearing from you down in the comments. But that is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.